So let's start. So welcome sa session natin for today, Differential Calculus. So for today, after we have discussed last meeting yung um, differentiation by increment, today we will discuss differentiation by formulas na. Okay? So at the end of this session, hopefully ito yung mga things na ma-acquire natin o matapos natin. So yung first one, to state, derive, and illustrate the standard differentiation formulas. Okay, so we have 5 standards. The next, to differentiate functions and apply differentiation formulas involving various computations. Okay, so ibig sabihin pwedeng magkakasama yung mga iba't ibang formulas natin sa isang problem. Then next is to discuss yung chain rule and related formulas. So yung chain rule, later di-discuss natin kung ano ibig sabihin yung chain rule. Or pwedeng alam nyo na yung chain rule pero hindi nyo alam na yung pala yung tawag doon. Okay? And then, last is yung to find yung derivative ng function using chain rule. Okay? So let's start. So let's start first with the differentiation formulas. Okay. Let's start with number 1. Okay, so sasabi sa number 1, the derivative of a constant. So ang definition lang niya, ang derivative daw ng constant is always 0. Okay? So pag given na value o function is equals to c, automatic 0 yung derivative niya. Okay. So paano naging 0 yung derivative niyan? Kailangan i-check natin, no? Ipakita natin gamit yung limit formula natin, no? Kung paano na-derive na 0 yan. So let's say for example, we have yung function natin. O yung function natin daw, yung fx natin ay equals sa c. Sa constant. So any value yan, any number. Okay? So, di ba yung formula natin before is para makuha daw natin yung derivative, ang formula natin is limit nung x approaching x sub 0, tapos f of x minus f of x sub 0 all over x minus x sub 0. So, ito yung discussion natin last time, no? Kung matatandaan nyo. So, ito daw yung derivative ng function natin using limits. So, kung using limits, ito yung di bang given function natin, fx is equals to c. So, ibig sabihin, yung y prime natin will be equals to limit of x approaching x sub 0. So, yung fx natin is c minus. So, yung unang point natin, yung x sub 0 natin, hindi siya naka-indicate na. Pero, yan natin na, di ba laging approaching sa c yung value natin na x sub 0. Okay? So, over x minus c. Okay? And kapag sinimplify natin, y prime is equals to limit of x approaching c. So, yung x sub 0 natin ay c, ha? So, magiging 0 over x minus c. So, ibig sabihin, y prime is equals to limit 0 or 0. Okay? So, kaya sinabing ang derivative natin ay equal sa 0. Okay? So, these results follow that the fact that the slope of a horizontal line is 0. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kahit anong constant na value, basta constant siya, always 0 siya. So, yun yung first rule natin. Okay? Next, so example siguro, halimbawa meron tayong y is equals to 5, automatic ang y prime natin is equals to 0. Sa halimbawa meron tayong y is equals to 75. Since constant yan, lagi yang equal sa 0. Okay? Halimbawa meron tayong y is equals to x raised to 0. So x raised to 0 is equals to 1. So y prime natin is equals to 0. Okay? So, yan yung mga example natin. Okay? Next is tatawag natin derivative of power xn. Okay? So, the derivative of the nth power of a function is equals to n times the product. So, derivative of the nth power okay, is equals to n times the product of mas madali mamaya natin lagyan ng figure, no? Is equal to n times the product of the n minus 1 nth power of the function and the derivative of the function. Okay. So, halimbawa yung function daw natin is naka-raise ng exponent ng power. Okay? So, para makuha natin yung derivative niyan, di ba, ginagawa natin yung nalagyan natin ng by increment. So, y plus delta y. Tapos mangyayari dito is x plus delta x raised to n. Okay? Then kapag halimbawa inano natin, in-expand natin yung right side, y plus delta y is equals to x raised to n plus yung mga kasunod na digit nun is n, xn minus 1, delta x plus n minus 1 is 2 factorial, so on and so forth, plus yung second digit natin raised to n. Okay. So, itong part na to, hindi ko na in-specify kasi 'di ba after natin makuha yung ma-change natin ng x plus delta x and y, yung given nating x and y value, gagawin natin is i-divide natin ng delta x yung buong equation natin. Okay? So, pwede natin gawin dito is over delta x. Okay? So, y plus delta y over delta x so equals to So, ilipat na lang muna natin yung y para hindi magulo. So, delta y is equals to xn. Tapos itong diagram na to, itong terms na to, sabihin kong a na lang, no? Okay? Plus a minus y. Tapos yung value natin ng y ay xn plus a. Yung value natin ng y ito. So, minus xn. Okay? So, matitira natin delta y is equals to a. Okay? So, meaning, delta y is equals to xn minus 1 delta x plus n minus 1 to 2 prime xn minus 2. Kasi di ba decreasing yun, yung kapag sa Pascal triangle, tandaan nyo yung sa mathematics and modern world nyo, no? So, dapat yung ganyan yung form niya. Plus delta x n. Okay? Okay. Tapos, di ba, i-divide natin both side by delta x. Okay? So, yung delta y over delta x natin, yung first term natin, ito yung first term. Ito yung first term natin. Magiging siyang nxn minus 1. Okay? Plus, yung mga succeeding term, lahat siya magkakameron na siya ng delta x na matitira sa kanya. Ay, di ba gagawin natin? Gagawin natin yung limit of delta x approaching 0. Okay? So, mangyayari ngayon, ang matitira lang is yung first term lang. Kaya matitira, ang derivative natin ng power is equals sa nxn minus 1. Okay? So, yun yung ibig sabihin nung mismong derivative ng power natin. And dyan ang galing yung formulang yan. No? Ito. So, let's say, for example, we have y is equals to x10. Yan yung first example natin. So, ang n natin dyan is equals to 10. So, para makuha natin yung derivative, magiging siyang nxn minus 1 or 10x10 minus 1 or y prime is equals to 10x raised to 9. Okay? Second example, let's say we have y is equals to x raised to 1 half. Okay? So, ang n natin is equals to 1 half. So, ang derivative natin will be 1 half x 1 half minus 1 or y prime is equals to 1 half x negative 1 half. Tapos, since negative siya, y prime is equals to 1 half times 1 over x raised to 1 half. Okay? So, ito na yung pwede nating final answer sa kanya. Or pwede natin gawing 1 over 2 square root of x. Okay? So, ganyan po nangyayari yung sa product. Sa power pala. Okay? Okay tayo dito sa power. Next, we have derivative of a sum. Okay? So, the derivative of the sum of two functions is equals to the derivative to the sum of their respective derivative. Okay? So, let's say for example daw, meron tayong y. Okay? Meron tayong y is equals to f of x is equals to, bawa yung dalawa nating sum is q plus v. Okay? Bawa u plus v siya. Tapos kailangan natin kunin yung derivative ng variable natin in terms of x. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin, di ba? Y plus delta y is equals to u plus delta u plus v plus delta v. Okay? And then, pag simplify natin, lagay natin yung y sa kabila. So, delta y is equals to u plus delta u plus v plus delta v minus yung u natin, ang value niya is u plus v. So, u minus v. Kaya mangyayari doon sa u, magka-cancel out. Sa v, magka-cancel out. So, yung delta y is equals to delta u plus delta v. Then, divide natin both side by delta x. Isang buo. Delta x. So, we have yung delta y o delta x natin or equal sa y prime is equal sa delta u over delta x plus delta v over delta x or y prime is equals to u prime plus v prime. Okay? So, derivative lang siya ng respective terms. Okay? So, let's have an example for this one. So, let's say, halimbawa, we have y is equals to 5x squared minus 4x cubed minus 9x raised to 7. So, para makuha yung derivative niyan, apply natin yung derivative ng power, each term. Okay? So, y prime will be equals to 5 times 2 times x, 2 minus 1 minus 4 times 3 times x, 3 minus 1 minus 9 times 7, x, 7 minus 1. Okay? So, y prime will be equals to 10x minus 12x squared minus 63 x raised to 6. So, ito yung first example natin. So, pinorform natin siya individually, no? So, by each term. Next example. Let's try y is equals to x raised to 1 half minus x raised to 1/3. Okay? So, limbawa yan yung given. So, same lang din, y prime is equals to 1 half x 1 half minus 1 minus 1/3 x 1/3 minus 1. Okay? Simplify, y prime is equals to 1 half. So, x ito, nangyayari ito. Kunin natin yung common, yung LCD nila. So, 2 divide 2 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 divide, ito is may 1 sa ilalim. 2 divide 1 is 2 times 1 is negative minus 2. Okay? So, minus 1/3 x. Tapos kunin natin ulit yung LCD. 3. 3 divide 3 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 3 divide 1 is 3. Then, times 1 is 3. Okay? Simplify. We have 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2 and 1/3 x raised to negative 2/3. And since naka-negative yung exponent, ibig sabihin kailangan ilagay natin siya sa ibaba. No? Y prime is equals to 1/2 times 1 over x raised to 1/2 minus 1/3 times 1 over x raised to 2/3. Okay? Then simplify, we have y prime is equals to 1 over 2 square root of x minus 1/3 tapos nangyayari is x squared cube root of x squared. Kasi by radical formula, no? So halimbawa meron tayong x n over m equals yun sa x raised to n cos n. Okay? Sa rule po ng radical sign. Okay? So yun po yung sa derivative of a sum. Question so far? Okay? So I hope na re-refresh yung napag-aralan sa senior high, no? Next is yung derivative of a product. So we have derivative of the product of two functions is equal to the first function times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first one. So let's say meron tayong function na y is equals to u times v. So sabi niya is equal siya yung derivative natin sa first function. Okay, first function down times yung derivative nung second function plus yung second function times yung derivative ng first function. Okay? So ito yung formula natin. So pero paano lumabas yan? So papakita ulit natin kung paano na-derive yung given formula na yan. No? So we have y is equals to uv. So we have y plus delta y is equals to u plus delta u times v plus delta v. Okay? Then, kapag sinimplify natin, kailangan i-distribute natin each term. No? So, we have y plus delta y is equals to uv plus u delta v plus delta u v plus delta u delta v. Okay? And then, we simplify. So, transpose natin si y sa kabila. Then, kunin natin yung value. So, uv plus u delta v plus delta u v plus delta u delta v. Yung y is equal sa uv, so minus uv. So, cancel natin yung uv. Ang titira is delta y is equals to u delta v plus delta uv plus delta u delta v. Okay? Tapos, divide natin both side by delta x. So, yung mangyayari, pwedeng pag-iwalay natin bawat term. So, we have delta u delta v over delta x plus delta u v over delta x plus delta u delta v over delta x. Okay? Tapos kapag nag-limit na tayo, so limit, so yung delta y over delta x, i-limit natin is equals to limit ng delta x approaching 0. Okay? So we have u delta x, delta v over delta x plus delta u. Lagay ko lang sa unahan yung v over delta x plus delta u delta v over delta x. Okay. So, mapapansin natin dito, yung delta v over delta x, pwede natin i-represent as v prime. Delta u, delta x, pwede natin gawing u prime. Tapos itong remaining last term is, since naka-x approaching 0 tayo dito, magiging 0 na yung value nito. No? Okay? So, yung last final equation natin, yung delta y over delta x is equals to y prime is equals to u v prime plus b u prime, which corresponds dun sa original equation na nilagay natin dito. Okay? So, para alam nyo lang kung saan nanggaling. Na? Okay? So, example, so we have, halimbawa, we have y is equals to x squared plus 5 times x cubed minus 7. Okay? So, ang u natin is ito. Ang v natin is ito. So, magandang gawin, i-derive mo siya separately. So, u is equals to x squared plus 5 plus dito, b is equals to x cubed minus 7. Then, kunin lang natin yung derivative. U prime, so power formula, so 2x, 2 minus 1, plus derivative of constant is 0. Sa kabila, b prime is equals to 3x, 3 minus 1 minus 0. Simplify, we have u prime is equals to 2x, v prime is equals to 3x squared. So, apply natin yung formula. Y prime is equals to u v prime plus v u prime. So, substitute, we have u natin is x squared plus 5. Ang v prime natin is 3x squared plus yung v natin is x cubed minus 7. Then, ang u prime natin is 2x. Then, we simplify. So, we have, so distribute natin to. Okay. So, we have 3x to the fourth plus 15x squared plus 2x to the fourth minus 14x. So, para sa final answer, we combine like terms. So, we have 5x to the 4 plus 15x squared minus 14x. So, this will be our final answer. Okay? So, question po regarding derivative ng product.
Eh
Okay.
sir, parang dy over dx rin po ba yan?
Yes, same din yan. Delta y over delta x pa din yan. So, yung representation na y prime, so ito. So, same yan. Y prime tsaka delta y over delta x tsaka dy over dx, same lang yan.
Siguro sir, thank you
Okay,
po.
so, dy over dx is equals to delta y over delta x is equals to y prime. Okay? Next, our last sa basic formula natin is yung tatawag natin derivative of quotient. Okay? So sabi dito, the derivative of a quotient of two function is, so yung derivative of a quotient is equals to denominator times the derivative. So halimbawa meron tayong y is equals to u over v. So denominator daw times yung derivative ng numerator minus yung numerator times yung derivative ng denominator all over square root daw nung denominator. Okay? So, kailangan mapalabas natin tong equation na to. No? Kung paano nakuha yan. Okay? So, medyo mahaba to, no? Let's try to discuss. Okay. So, bawa yung function natin, sabi, y is equals to u over v. Okay? Pag kinuha natin yung derivative niyan, so, we have y plus delta y is equals to u plus delta u over v plus delta v. Okay? And transpose natin yung y. We have delta y is equals to u plus delta u all over v plus delta v minus yung u over v. And then, para ma-simplify, try nating kunin yung common, yung LCD nila. Okay? So, we have v, tsaka v plus delta v. So, yung denominator natin, divided by v plus delta v, matitira v. So we have v times u plus delta u. Tapos we have u times v plus delta v. Okay?
Sir, squared po ata yun. Yung,
Alin? Mamaya pa, mamaya kailangan natin mapalabas na squared. So pinapakita ko kung bakit magiging squared. Okay? So kasunod is kailangan ma-simplify natin, no? Ano ba ma-simplify ito? So let's try after nito, kung wala tayong pwedeng magawa, iba dinidivide na natin ng delta x both side. Okay? So we have delta y over delta x. So ibig sabihin, ito na yung y prime natin. Is equals to b u plus delta u minus u times b plus delta v. Okay, delta v all over delta x times v times v plus delta v. Okay. Pag meron na kayong ganito, kailangan iisip kayo ng manipulation na pwedeng gawin. Okay. So, manipulation pwedeng gawin, pwede kong galawin yung numerator, no? Gagawin ko doon sa numerator, mag-a-add minus ako ng u at v. Okay? So, let's try. So, limbawa yung numerator, di ba, v times u plus delta u. Lalagay ako ng u plus uv tsaka minus uv. So, ibig sabihin, pag ginano, baliwala lang din tong term na to, no? Kasi 0 lang din yan. So, yung mismong equation na yan, babalik lang siya dito sa formulang to, no? Minus u times v plus delta v all over delta x times v times v plus delta v. Okay. And then, gawin natin, try natin mag-factor out nung same term. Okay? So let's try yung first term natin tsaka yung third term. So yung common sa kanila para silang may v. So v times u plus delta u minus u. Okay? Then yung kasunod, yung last term natin tsaka yung second term natin. Okay, so erase ko to. Okay, so we have common sa kanila is u. So try kong minus u. Minus u. So magiging v plus delta v minus v. Okay? All over delta x times v times v plus delta v. Okay. Next is since wala na tayong ibang pwedeng manipulation sa kanya, ito na lang, no? Itong ilalagay na natin siya sa limit, no? So y prime is equals to limit of delta x approaching 0. Tapos kung ano tong term na to, copy ko lang. No? So limit niyang term na yan. So since nasa limit yan, pwede tayong hiwalay ng value, no? So pwede applying yung limit theorem natin. So we have, halimbawa ihiwalay ko tong term na to. So limit of delta x approaching 0 times 1 over v times v plus delta v times yung limit ng delta x approaching 0 plus yung natitira, so v u plus delta u minus u times v plus delta v minus v, okay, all over delta x. Okay? So kung meron na tayo niyan, pag pinerform natin to, tong first term natin, to, makita natin approaching 0, so matitira dito is y prime y prime is equals to 1 over v times v. No? Matitira doon. Times, dito, pag titingnan nyo, itong term na to, tsaka itong term na to, itong term na to, saan yan nagko-correspond? Kasi di ba pwede natin pag-iwalayin yung denominator niyan. So, pwede siyang maging limit of delta x approaching 0 plus v times u plus delta u minus u over delta x minus u v plus delta v minus v all over delta x. Okay? So, erasing ko lang to para hindi mali, Then itong term na to, ito ay equal sa derivative ng u, tapos ito ay equal sa derivative ng v. Okay? So, pag sinimplify natin yung mismong equation natin, y prime is equals to 1 over v squared times v u prime minus u v prime. Okay? O kapag sinimplify, pag sinimplify, we have y prime is equals to vu prime minus uv prime all over v squared, which is yung equals dun sa mismong formula natin dito sa taas. Okay? Ay, may space pa para dun sa tabi. Ang pinagkakasya ko doon. Wait lang. I-rewrite ko nga. Kala ko wala ng space. Okay. So we have y prime is equals to 1v squared times yung limit approaching yung limit natin mawawala na yung delta x, no? Kasi walang delta x na matitira. So limit of delta x approaching 0. So magiging v u prime minus u v prime. So wala nang delta x, so constant na lang yung limit natin dito. So we have 1 v squared times v u prime minus u v prime, or y prime is equals to v u prime minus u v prime all over v squared. Okay? Okay? So yun yung main formula para sa quotient. So baka sabihin nyo, ba't kailangan pang i-derive, no? Para lang ma-appreciate nyo yung formula. Alam po, kailangan nyo lang i-memorize is yung mismong formulas nila kada number, no? Pero mas maganda, mas ma-appreciate natin kung saan nanggaling, no? Okay? So example for derivative ng quotient, hanap lang ako. So let's try okay. Wait lang, naghanap akong example ng medyo ma-apply natin. So halimbawa, meron tayong example dito. We have y is equals to 1 minus x all over square root of x. Okay? So i-indicate lang natin kung ano yung u at v natin. So ito yung u, ito yung v. So kunin lang natin. So ang u natin, pag kinuha natin yung derivative, so u is equals to 1 minus x. So u prime natin is equals to 0 minus, so may imaginary 1 yun doon. So 1 x 1 minus 1. So u prime is equals to negative 1 x raised to 0. So x raised to 0 is 1. So negative 1 times 1. So negative 1. Then yung v natin is square root of x. Pwede siya maging x raised to 1 half. So b prime natin will be 1 half b 1 half minus 1. So we have b prime is equals to 1 half b raised to negative 1 half, or b prime is equals to 1 over 2 square root of b. Okay? Then applying yung formula natin. So y prime is equals to v prime b u prime minus uv prime equals siya sa y prime over v squared. Okay? So y prime is equals to yung v natin is x raised to 1 half times negative 1 minus yung u natin is 1 minus x times yung v prime natin na 1 over 2 square root of v all over. Yung v squared natin is square root of x squared. Okay? So y prime is equals to negative x raised to 1 half. Tapos distribute natin magiging negative 1 positive x all over 2 square root of x. Okay? All over x. So maganda pala sa another sheet na lang 'to, no? Para masyado tayo nagtitipid sa space. Try ko dito. So y is equals to 1 minus x square root of x. So yung u is 1 minus x. U prime is negative 1. V is square root of x raised to 1 half. So v is equals to 1 over 2 square root of x. Okay, so y prime is equals to v u prime minus u v prime all over v squared. Substitute, we have 1. Tama ba yung equation ko? Tama. 1 over v prime to. Okay. So v natin is x raised to 1 half times u prime natin is negative 1 minus u is 1 minus x times 1 over 2 square root of x all over square root of x squared. Okay. Simplify, we have negative x raised to 1 half, and then so negative 1 over 2 square root of x plus 1 over plus x over 2 square root of x all over x. Then sa numerator, pagsamahin natin yung lahat ng terms. So this will be 2 square root of x. So magiging siyang negative x 1 half, negative x raised to 1 half times 2 times x 1 half minus 1 plus x. So we have y prime is equals to, so multiply natin to, we have negative 2 x raised to 1 half plus 1 half, multiplication ng exponent, nag-multiply tayo ng variable, yung exponent niya nag-a-add. Then we have negative 1 plus x over 2 square root of x over x po pala to. Okay? Times x. Okay? So we have negative 2 x raised to 1 minus 1 plus x all over. So pwede natin pagsamahin to, itong dalawang x na to. So magkakaroon itong 2 x 1 half times x raised to 1. Simplify yung numerator. We have negative x minus 1 all over 2 x 3 halves. Okay. So, final answer natin, pwede natin gawin negative x plus 1 all over 2x 3 halves. Okay? So, ito yung derivative na hinahanap natin para sa quotient. Okay? Question po so far para sa derivative ng quotient. Okay? So, let's have an example na mix na yung solution, no? Okay? So, meron tayo dito, find the derivative of 1 minus x squared plus over 1 plus x squared. So, parang halos same nung last example, no? So, gawin natin, si numerator gawin nating u, si denominator gawin nating v. Okay? So, u is equals to 1 minus x squared. Tapos si v natin is equals to 1 plus x squared. Kunin natin yung derivative niya. So, u prime is equals to 0 minus 2x to 2 minus 1 minus 1 as v prime is equals to 0 plus 2x2 minus 1. So, u prime will be negative 2x. Then si v prime will be 2x. Okay? So, apply natin yung formula ng y prime is equals to v u prime minus u v prime all over v squared. So, applying lang yan. Substitute lang natin. So, we have 1 plus x squared times negative 2x minus yung u natin is 1 minus x squared times yung v natin, v prime is 2x all over 1 plus x squared. Okay? So, simplify. So, i-distribute natin. Okay, so we have negative 2x minus 2x cubed. Tapos dito, distribute din. Kasama na yung negative sign. So, negative 2x plus 2x cubed. So, we have 1 plus x squared. Then, yung numerator, papansin nyo, pwede natin cancel out to. Then, pwede natin combine yung like terms sa taas. So, negative 4x all over 1 plus x squared. So, pwedeng ito na yung sagot natin or pwede natin i-expand yung numerator. We have negative 4x all over 1 plus 2x squared plus x to the fourth. Okay? So, yan yung final answer natin. Question for this example. Nakakasunod naman kaya? Para mabalikan natin kung merong hindi malinaw. Okay, walang sumasagot. So, I'm assuming naintindihan, no? Next, we have derivative. Find the derivative of y is equals to x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x plus 7. So, derivative lang tayo ng sum. Okay? So, we have y is equals to x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x plus 7. So, we have y prime is equals to 3x3 minus 1 plus 6 times 2 x2 minus 1 plus 9 times 1 x1 minus 1 plus derivative of constant is 0. Okay, so simplify, we have 3x squared plus 12x plus 9 x raised to 0. Okay, so y prime is equals to 3x squared plus 12x plus 9. So this is our final answer. Okay. Next. So we have find the derivative of y is equals to 1 minus 2x. So parang same nung kanina. Ah, hindi. So 1 minus 2x all over 1 plus 2x. Okay? So assume ulit natin na ang numerator natin ay si u and sa denominator natin is si v. Okay? So u is equals to 1 minus 2x while v is equals to 1 plus 2x. So derive natin u prime is equals to 0 minus 2 times 1 x raised to 1 minus 1. Simplify u prime is equals to negative 2x raised to 0 where u prime is equals to negative 2. And we have b prime is equals to 0 plus 2 times 1 x 1 minus 1. b prime is equals to 2x raised to 0 or b prime is equals to 2. So magiging negative 2 times 1, 2 times 1. Okay? Then, substitute natin dun sa formula natin. So, y prime is equals to b u prime minus u b prime all over b squared. So, b natin is 1 plus 2x times u prime natin is negative 2 minus yung u natin is 1 minus 2x. Okay, don't forget yung parenthesis, no? Kasi mamamali yung sign times 2 all over b squared natin is 1 plus 2x squared. Okay? Simplify, distribute natin. So we have negative 2, negative 4x, then negative 2, positive 4x all over 1 plus 2x squared. Numerator, simplify. We have to cancel out yung may x kasi magiging 0. Then negative 4 all over 1 plus 2x squared. So this will be your derivative for the given equation. Okay? Next, we try y is equals to 4 all over 1 minus 5x to the 16th. So yung u, sorry, ito yung u, ito yung v natin. So u is equals to 4, tapos v is equals to 1 minus 5x raised to 16. So u prime natin is constant, so 0 ang derivative natin nun. So v prime natin will be 0 minus 5 times 16, x 16 minus 1. v prime will be 5 times 16 is 80, negative 80 x raised to 15. Okay? Then we substitute y prime is equals to b u prime minus u v prime all over b squared. So we have 1 minus 5x raised to 16 times 0 minus u natin is 4 times u prime negative 80 x raised to 15 all over b squared natin is 1 minus 5x 16 raised to 2. Okay? So y prime will be equals to, yung first term natin will be 0. So negative 4 times 80 is negative times negative is positive 320 x raised to 15 all over 1 minus 5x raised to 16 squared. So this will be our final answer. Okay. Kaya dito, mapapansin nyo, may madederive kayong formula na kapag yung numerator natin, numerator is constant, Yung y prime natin will be equal sa negative ub prime all over b squared. So, ito yung isang formula natin kapag ayan yung pwedeng formulang gamitin nyo kapag nakita nyo agad na constant yung numerator. Or para hindi na kayo malito, para hindi na kayo magdagdag ng isa pang formula sa vocabulary nyo, edi i-perform nyo na lang yung original quotient formula. Okay? Next. So sabi, find the slope of y is equals to x squared minus x minus 5 at 1 minus 5. Okay. So, di ba, na-identify natin last meeting na yung derivative daw nung given function natin is siya din slope nung mismong equation natin. Okay? So, ang gagawin lang natin, kunin lang natin yung first derivative niya. Then, yung makuha natin yung value, sasubstitute natin yung value ng point. Okay? So, yung point natin is ito, no? Itong 1, negative 5. So, kunin lang natin yung derivative ng y prime is equals to, ng y is equals to x squared minus x minus 5. So, derivative niya will be 2x 2 minus 1 minus 1 x 1 minus 1 minus 0. So, we have y prime is equals to 2x minus x raised to 0. So, y prime is equals to 2x minus 1. So, ito yung nakuha nating y prime niya. So, ibig sabihin ito yung slope natin. No? So, kung ang slope natin ay equals sa 2x minus 1, substitute natin yung value ng x at y. So, sa equation natin walang y. So, m is equals to 2 times 1 minus 1. So, m is equals to 2 minus 1 or m is equals to 1. So, ibig sabihin yung slope na hinahanap ng given problem ay 1. Okay? Question po before proceed sa next topic. Lahat naiintindihan? Okay. So let's proceed. So let's have yung chain rule naman, no? Yung tatawag na chain rule. So pag sinabi daw chain rule, if for example we have a function y is equals to f of u and u is equals to g of x. So yung derivative daw ng y with respect to x ay equal sa product ng derivative ng y with respect to u by the derivative of u with respect to x. So nakita nyo dito, product ng dy in terms of ng u and du in terms ni x. Okay? So meaning, kung halimbawa nagiging complicated na yung mismong problem, pwede nyong i-gamitin si u para mapasimplify siya. Then, i-apply mo na yung equation na to para makuha mo yung dy dx natin or yung mismong derivative natin, no? Yung y prime natin. Okay? So, ano ba tong given natin? So, let's say for example dito sa bigay muna tayo ng isa. Halimbawa, meron tayong y is equals to cube root of 1 minus x to the fourth. Okay? So, kung halimbawa gusto nating mapasimplify yan, edi pwede natin gawin is let nating u is equals dun sa nasa loob ng radical sign natin. So, 1 minus x to the fourth. So, magiging y is equals to cube root of u na lang yon. Okay? So, lagay natin to dito sa kabila. Okay? So, kung yun na yung given natin, de-derive natin muna si u in terms ni u, tapos multiply natin si derivative ni u in terms of x. Okay? So, ito, pwede natin i-form as u raised to 1/3. So, yung y prime natin will be 1/3 u, 1/3 minus 1 is equals to 1/3 u negative 2/3. So, naging negative 2/3 kasi katulad ng ginawa ko kanina, review nyo lang kung paano naging 2/3. So, maging equals to sa 1/3 times 1 over u 2/3. Okay? So, meron na tayo nung dy over dx. Kailangan natin ngayon is yung du over dx naman. So, meron tayong u is equals to 1 minus x to the fourth. So, ang u prime natin is equals to 0 minus 4x 4 minus 1 or negative 4x cube. Okay? So, para makuha yung y prime o yung dy over dx natin, equal siya sa dy over du is equals to, para hindi tayo malito, baguhin natin yung ano nito. No? Gawin natin tong dy over du. Okay? dy over du multiplied ng du over dx. Okay? So, y prime will be equal sa dy over du is itong term na to natin. Ito. So, 1 over 3u 2/3 times yung u natin sa du over dx is ito, negative 4x cube. Ito yung du over dx natin. Pero naka in terms of u pa din to. So balik natin kasi na-assume natin na u is equals to 1 minus x to the fourth. So y prime is equals to negative 4x cube all over 3 times 1 minus x to the fourth 2/3. Okay? So ito yung magiging final answer natin. Okay? Question? Okay, next. So let's try find dy dx if y is equals to 1 over 1 minus u and u is equals to 1 over 1 plus x. So again, our formula sa chain rule is dy over dx is equals to dy in terms ng du times du in terms ng dx. Okay, so we have y is equals to 1 over 1 minus u. So yung dy over du natin will be equals to, so ito ay quotient ulit. So yung formula natin is para hindi tayo malito, gawin nating assume natin itong w, ito ay u. So iba lang yung term pero ang mangyayari sa atin is uv, sorry, wv. So magiging v w prime minus w v prime over w squared. So ang dy over du natin will be equals to 1 minus u times w prime is 0 minus w times v prime natin is negative 1. Okay? So, diniretso ko na. So, 1 minus u squared. So, simplify natin. This will be negative 1 times negative 1. This will be 0. So, 1 over 1 minus u squared. So, meron na tayong value para dito. Yes.
Di po ba B prime ay B squared tong ano dito sa
Alin?
formula? Sa
Ito?
formula po ni po. Opo.
Ayan,
W squared po talaga yun. W squared.
Oo, ay hindi. Kasi di ba, hindi. Oo. Sorry. Pero yung sinubstitute ko is v. Okay? So, tama. Sorry. Ito ay v squared. Okay? Pero tama naman yung sinubstitute ko dito sa ilalim, no? Y minus u. Okay? Okay, so wala, okay na, no? Then, yung du over dx natin, so meron to tayong u is equals to 1 over 1 plus x. So, ang du over dx natin will be equals sa, so same nung kanina. So, diretsong derivation na lang to. So, v times yung numerator minus v 1 plus x Hindi. U times yung derivative ng denominator over 1 plus x squared. So we have negative 1 over 1 plus x squared. Okay? So meron tayong value para sa du over dx tsaka dy over du. So yung final natin will be dy over dx is equals to dy over du times du over dx. So we have 1 over 1 minus u squared times negative 1 over 1 plus x squared. Pero yung makikita natin dito, in terms ng u pa yon. So, pwedeng substitute natin yung value ni u. So, dito ko ilagay sa taas. No? So, 1 over 1 minus u squared is equals to 1 over 1 minus 1 over 1 plus x squared. So, simplify natin yung denominator sa loob. So, we have 1 plus x. Tapos, itong 1 plus x minus 1 squared. Simplify natin. 1 over. So, we have x over 1 plus x squared. So, to pwede maging 1 plus x squared all over x squared. Okay? So, substitute natin dito. So, mangyayari dito sa first term natin, yung na-solve natin. So, 1 plus x squared all over x squared times negative 1 over 1 plus x squared. So, ka-cancel out to. So, magiging dy over dx natin is equals to negative 1 over x squared. So, ito yung final answer natin. Okay? Malinaw kaya dito?
Na-observe pa po, sir.
Okay? So, basta ito, i-simplify natin dito. Okay?
Sir, pag ganyan, given po lagi yung U.
Oo, pag halimbawa may mga problems kasi 'di ba na hindi binibigay yung u. Minsan kung halimbawa complicated masyado yung given na function, ikaw yung magle-let ng u, no? Kapag halimbawa ganitong given yung u, 'di susundin mo kung ano yung inassign niyang u value. Okay? Kasi minsan hindi nga binibigay yung value ng u eh. So it's up to you kung halimbawa masyadong complicated yung nasa loob halimbawa ng radical sign para mas ma-simplify. Gagamit tayong chain rule. Yun nga yung nagle-let tayo ng u. Okay?
Okay.
So, let's try another one. So, ito, given ulit yung y and u niya. So, we have y is equals to u squared plus 6u minus 2. Okay? So, yung y muna tayo. Y is equals to u squared plus 6u minus 2. So, yung dy natin in terms ni u is 2u, 2 minus 1 plus 6 times 1, u 1 minus 1 minus 0. So, we have dy over du is equals to 2u plus 6u raised to 0. So dy over du is equals to 2u plus 6. Okay? And then, pwede nating gawin para hindi na natin balikan mamaya. Substitute na natin yung u dito sa equation na to. So we have 2, 4x squared plus 8x plus 1 plus 6. So ang dy over du natin is equals to 8x squared plus 16x plus 2 plus 6 or 8x squared plus 16x plus 8. Okay? So, meron na tayo nung dy, du. Next is yung du over dx natin. So, we have u is equals to 4x squared plus 8x plus 1. So, du over dx. So, we have 4 times 2 x 2 minus 1 plus 8 times 1 x 1 minus 1 plus 0. So we have du over dx equals to 8x raised to 1 plus 8x raised to 0 or 8x plus 8. Okay? So, para makuha natin si dy over dx equals siya sa du. Sorry. So, we have dy all over dx times du all over, sorry. Should be du times du all over dx. So, substitute natin yung value. So, we have 8x squared plus 16x plus 8. Tapos multiply daw natin sa 8x plus 8. So, mangyayari, distribute lang natin. No? Kasi ito, distribute lang ito dito. Okay? So, dy over dx natin will be 64x cubed plus 8 times 16. So, we have 128x squared plus 64x plus 64x squared plus 128x plus 64. So, simplify natin, dy dx natin. Combine like terms, so 64x cubed. Then sa x squared is meron tayong 128 plus 64 is 192x squared. Then 192x plus 64. So this will be our final answer. Sorry.
Sir, iba po
Yes.
lumabas sa akin.
Bakit
Iba po
iba?
lumabas. 64x plus 1 cube pong sagot ko.
Wait, check ko yung sign ko. No? Negative. Mhm. U squared plus kasi pwedeng halimbawa dito sa first one. Anong lumabas sa'yo?
64x plus 1 cube.
Yung x plus 1 mo, naka-cube.
Apo.
Okay lang yan. Same yan kasi yung sagot mo na sinasabi mo is y prime is equals to 64 times x plus 1 cube. No?
Apo.
Pero yan, pag i-expand ko yung x plus 1 cube, yan ay equal sa x cube plus 3x x squared plus 3x plus 1. Okay? So pag dinistribute natin, 64x cubed plus 192x squared plus 192 plus 64. So the same lang nito.
Thank you po.
Na?
Na po yung hindi nakasimplify.
Itong una. Okay lang to. Kasi pwede mo makuha, Pwede mo makuha tong value na to kung dito sa dy over du natin is nag-factor out tayo, no? So pwede naman ginawa natin 2 times u plus 3 to, no? Then yung makikita natin dito ano bang pwedeng dito maging 8 times x plus 1, no? Yan, basta pag sinimplify, ito yung pwedeng makuha na isa, no? Kasi ito yung isang sagot, no? So accepted yung ah naka-compact form, tas accepted din tong naka-expand, no? So same lang. Okay? So let's try again another one. I think this is the last example. Okay? So we have y is equals to u squared plus 2u. Then meron tayong u is equals to v squared plus 2v. Tapos meron tayong v is equals to x squared plus 2x. So find dy dx. So tatlong variable yung given natin, no? Meron tayo, ang pinapanap sa atin is dy over dx. Pag chinek natin yung first natin, in terms siya ng y at u. So, pwede tayong makakuha ng dy over du. Yung second, in terms ng u at v, pwede tayong makakuha ng du in terms ng dv. Yung third is in terms ng v at ng x. So, pwede tayong makakuha ng dv in terms of dx. Kailangan natin makakuha tayo ng dy dx, no? So, dy over dx, pwede natin gawin dy over du, yung una natin. Then, para mawala si du dun sa denominator, kailangan multiply natin siya ng may numerator na du. Okay? So, du over dv. So, magka-cancel out na to. So, times dv over dx kasi kailangan natin eliminate yung dv. So, kailangan natin ng numerator na dv dito. So, equals na siya sa dy over dx. So, meaning, kapag nakuha natin yung values nitong tatlong to, makukuha natin yung dy over dx. Okay? So, kunin natin isa-isa. So, let's try. Y is equals to u squared plus 2u. So, ang dy natin in terms ng du will be, idiretso ko na to So, 2u plus 2. Then, yung u is equals to v squared plus 2v natin. So, yung du over dv natin will be 2v plus v. Plus 2. Then, yung last natin, yung v natin is equals to x squared plus 2x. So, x squared plus 2x. So, dv over dx natin is 2x plus 2. So, we have dy over dx is equals to, so dy over du natin na 2u plus 2. And then, next natin, du over dv natin is 2v plus 2. Then, yung next natin is 2x plus 2. Okay? So, pwede natin factor out lahat ng 2 sa labas. So, 2u plus 1, 2 v plus 1, tsaka 2x plus 1. Okay? Or pwede natin labas 2u plus 1, v plus 1, tsaka x plus 1. And then, substitute na natin yung value ni u. So, si u is in terms ni v squared. So, we have v squared plus 2v plus 1. Then, yung v natin is equal sa x squared plus 2x plus 1. Then, meron tayong x plus 1 dito. Okay. So, next, simplify natin yung v squared dito sa loob, no? Ito. So, we have 8. So, yung v natin is x squared plus 2x. Okay. Squared, okay. Plus 2, x squared plus 2x plus 1 times x squared plus 2x plus 1 saka x plus 1. Okay. Pag chinek natin yung x squared plus 2x plus 1, pwede natin i-represent as x plus 1. Okay. Yun natin itong x plus 1. And then, yung first term, pwede natin gawing x squared plus 2x plus 1 squared. Okay, pag finactor. Okay. And then yung x squared natin, so yung ito nga sa loob natin. So, di ba magiging y is equals to 8 x squared plus 2x plus 1 squared. Tapos times x plus 1. Ito magiging squared na to. Okay? Kasi itong dalawang to. So, x squared. Then, further simplify natin. Ito ay x plus 1 squared. Okay? So, dapat ito ay maging cube pala to. Okay? Then pag sinimplify pa natin, pwedeng yung loob maging x plus 1 squared, tas naka-squared sa labas, x plus 1 cube. We have x, magiging itong x plus 1 to the fourth, tsaka x plus 1 cube. So final natin will be 8x plus 1 to the 7. Okay? So yun yung hinahanap nating derivative ng given problem natin. Okay? Okay, question po.
Wala po, wala.
Okay? So if you don't have any more question, this ends our lecture for today. So if ever upon reviewing this video, you have stumbled a question regarding sa differentiation formulas natin and applying chain rule, please do message me sa Facebook or sa video or sa LMS. Okay? So if you don't have any more question, this ends our lecture for today.